So the next one, cover letters. Does it even get read? Like a lot of times we have candidates ask, and I've heard some, yes, we do read, some we don't. So the question is, do you prefer CV or resume? And also, like, how much time should they be putting in the cover letter?
Hey, I'll start on that one, and I hate to disappoint all you out there, but I don't read cover letters. Now, having said that, there are some industries and some types of jobs where the cover letter is gold. One of them for us, probably the only one where I read them, is a medical writer. And, it's pretty straightforward in terms of why that is. When it comes to resume versus CV, it's just really preference. You're going to talk to 100 people and you're going to get 97 different ways to put your resume together. So when I'm talking about resumes or CVs, it all boils down to format. And I think what candidates typically do is they forget who is actually reading their resume. At the end of the day, we're all recruiters. There's a myth out there that's basically very true. We probably spend about 5 to 7 seconds on every resume that we review. And again, I hate saying that, but that is the truth. I prefer a functional resume. And what I mean by functional resume is the functional resume gives you an opportunity to actually target and customize your interests, not an objective. I have to admit, I still see objectives. I'll go up against anybody to prove to me I've never ever read an objective that even makes any sense whatsoever. But an interest is something that's very, very specific. And what I mean by interest is to secure the position of medical writer where my skills and background will be utilized. It's very simple and it's very straightforward. That's followed by strengths. And what those strengths are is you go out and you take a look at the job description and you look at the required qualifications. And let's say there's 6 of them. If you've got 5 of them, then that's what you're going to focus on in terms of your strengths. And you're going to add a couple of other things. Then you talk about your experience and your education is last. That's just my perspective. And then I think there was some talk too at one time about length of resume. I've been in the industry over 30 years. My resume is a page and a half. Target for a 1-page resume. If you need to go over maybe a page and a half, and I know a lot of you, masters and postdoc students are going, I've got like 6 pages just of my publications, but we as recruiters don't need to see all 6 pages of your publications. We just need to know that you are published. There can be additional documents that you can send later or you can talk about. But again, that's my take on resumes. Because again, if a hiring manager is coming to me and saying, I want A, B, C, D, E, and then I go to somebody's resume and it goes, oh, they have this, and it's just very easy to read. And then I can go into the body of the resume and say, wow, look at, they've got, X experience, they've accomplished this, look at this. And it's just very, very easy to review.
So I don't read cover letters. I should take that back. I do read cover letters, but because I'm getting them far and in between right now. But cover letter was never a make or break for consideration. So if a candidate had an application with a resume, that was actually more than sufficient to be able to deduce the information we needed. In terms of CV versus resume, so I would advise for the audience here, have a CV prepared, but there is a very easy way to convert your CV to a functional resume. Because when you think about a CV, it is primarily used for applying to scientific or research positions in academia or applying for fellowships and grants. Whereas within industry, we're going to mostly focus on the functional background. On the publications, we don't need to see all the publications, but I would suggest just adding a line at the end to say publications available upon request or referencing an addendum.
I only read cover letters for medical affairs positions because it's so specific. They're going through all of the stuff that they do, and 9 times out of 10, it just makes my life so much easier for pharma for those roles specifically. But other than that, I really don't. Sometimes if it's a role that I've never seen before, I'll look at the cover letters, but usually they're so different than the resume that it doesn't really help me, because if the resume doesn't have what I need, it makes it difficult to talk to the hiring manager.